Welcome back to another episode of the Hunt, Fish, Live podcast, everyone. It is mid-December. Christmas is almost here. Deer season is almost up, but ice fishing is on the horizon. Let's get into it. Well, the weather turned a few weeks ago, and probably not even a few weeks, so maybe a week and a half. But anyways, it got super cold and super snowy. We had a ton of snow here in mid-Michigan. That weekend that I went up to do some doe hunting with my buddies up in Oceana County, they had... I don't know. I don't know how much snow it was, but I stepped out of the blind to go to take a leak, and the snow was up to my knees. So, yeah, we've been hit pretty hard with snow here in Michigan, lower Michigan, and it's been pretty intense. My buddy sent me a trail camera picture from the property up there the other day, and it was of a doe, and it was walking like shoulder deep in the snow. I don't know if it was a fawn or what, but they've been getting pounded up there with snow as well. It has finally started to warm up a little bit and melt some snow off and melt some ice off the house, but we are in for another cold snap, probably starting Friday. I think it's supposed to go from Thursday into Friday. It's supposed to drop like 26 degrees or something like that. So, yeah. I don't know what's going on, but we haven't had an early winter like this in quite some time, or at least this much snow anyway. There have been ice reports from a couple of the bait shops and a couple of the river guides around, and ice on lakes is getting pretty thick. It's getting thick enough to finally start to go out on. So hopefully in the next week or so, we'll be out on the ice. I'm hoping to get out before Christmas, but who knows. We got a lot of snow, and that, the snow insulates the ice and it doesn't grow as fast as it would if it didn't have snow on it. So we will see how that goes. I'm very excited to get out there and catch some bluegill, perch, crappie, go over some walleyes, and replenish the stash, so to speak. A couple of spots that we fish are really close, like I said. The bait shops in town, around those lakes in town, are putting out some pretty good reports, promising reports. So only time will tell, and hopefully it tells a good story. As far as deer hunting goes, I did not get out last weekend. It was super cold, and really snowy. I didn't feel like dealing with the cold and snow on state land, just scouting for deer basically. So I held off. I think I'm going to get out maybe this weekend. Now that we're losing some snow, we don't have a chance of snow until after Christmas, I think. So I think I'll be able to hunt this weekend at some point. I think it's still second gun season or muzzleloader season here, but I don't know what I'll use. Maybe my bow, maybe a rifle. I'm not sure, but I'd be heading out to state land in the spots that I have hunted before and have seen deer at before. I just want to shoot something. The freezer is getting low, and I'm very eager. We've been getting some good trail camera pictures of really nice bucks down in Indiana. We are going down there for probably the last trip of the year, the weekend after Christmas, I think. So, fingers crossed on that one. I'm still searching for a buck or a doe down there, so I have the ability to shoot both. So we will see how that goes. My let's see, my my buddy's son, who's 8 or 9, I think 9, 8, 9, something like that, shot his first deer the other day, just a doe. That weekend that I was up in Oceana County doe hunting with my buddies, his son shot at a deer. They thought he hit it, and he was super pumped and really excited. Like he's been hoping and wishing to shoot a deer for the past year or two, and he thought he made it happen, and it was a bummer when they walked up to where it was when he shot, and there was no blood, nothing. So they did a little tracking, did a looking for blood, and found nothing, and it bummed the kid out. He's pretty hard on himself. He's really competitive, and yeah, I feel bad for him. My buddy Brandon felt bad for him too, but he was actually able to connect the other day, Sunday morning I believe it was, on a nice doe, which is awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. I love it when kids shoot deer, especially when they get their first one, and you know they're super pumped and super excited to do something that you love to do. And it's great seeing Brandon pass down the tradition of deer hunting to his kids. So that is really awesome. Like I mentioned earlier, it is late December, and hunting is different right now. The rut's behind us. The woods don't feel alive like they did in November. And it's not uncommon to not see deer while you're out on a sit. But that doesn't mean the deer aren't there. It just means everything they do now is all about survival. By this time of the year, deer are run down, and they're looking for food. Pressure has shaped their movement into staying away from where the people have been the past couple months, and mistakes have already been punished. And every mature buck that is still alive didn't get there by accident. You know, he avoided the pressure, he adjusted his movements, and probably went nocturnal for quite some time. So if you're still hunting right now, you've got to hunt smarter, just not harder. This isn't about bouncing around stands or hoping something happens. It's about precision. The biggest mistake I see late hunters make is hunting spots that used to be good. Late season deer hunting boils down to one thing: calories. Deer are moving and burning more energy staying warm than in any other part of the season. If there's snow on the ground or bitter cold, food sources become even more concentrated. Look for those standing cornfields, cut cornfields with leftover grain, winter wheat, brassica food plots, and oak flats if there are acorns left. If you're not hunting close to food, you're likely wasting your time. But don't sit right on top of the food unless you have to. Mature bucks often stage before dark, so look for those downwind edges, thick cover, and ditches and fence lines, or terrain that provides security for those deer. Late season is about intercepting deer before last light, not watching them step into a field after shooting hours. Another key piece of late season is when you hunt, all day sits aren't usually necessary. Movement windows are tight, so the best times are late afternoons and early mornings. Late afternoons into last light with cold fronts and the first calm evening after a brutal stretch of weather is great. If it's been really cold and windy for days and suddenly you get temperatures warming, lighter winds, or fresh snow, that can spark movement. This is where the patience matters, though. You might only get 1 or 2 good sits in a spot. Burn it too early, and it's done. Late season success comes down to waiting for the right conditions, being quiet, and capitalizing on a short movement window. Pressure is amplified in late season also, so the deer know exactly where the hunters come from. They've been seeing them coming from wherever they've been coming from for the past couple months. If you've been bumping deer on the way in or out, it's not good. Your hunt's over. So think about your access routes, walking creeks or ditches, anything that's going to hold your scent and give you a definitive line on how to get to your tree stand. And using the wind not just to get there, or not just in your stand, but to get there. The snow makes this tougher because every step crunches. That means slower entries and sometimes hunting closer to bedding than you normally would. But only if you can do it clean. Late season bucks tolerate very little disturbance. Again, because they've been disturbed for the past couple months. This part matters more than people admit, though. Late December hunts can be lonely, cold, and quiet. You question whether it's going to be worth going out and sitting in your stand. But also the pressure is lower. Hunting pressure is lower. Most hunters have quit for the year, and mistakes by deer are more costly. So some of my most meaningful hunts didn't come in November. They came when no one else was out there. If you're still hunting right now, you're already doing something right. Last year, the later in the season I hunted, the more deer I saw out in those cornfields down in Indiana, and it gave some pretty magical sits. There were sits where I saw 20 to 40 deer, and it was amazing. Such a cool time to be in the woods. But even though the woods might go quiet, and for a lot of us, ice fishing is what fills that gap between deer season and turkey season. There's something about first ice that feels a lot like opening day. The fresh opportunities, clean slate for a season, and a reason to get back outside. Ice fishing keeps that outdoor rhythm going when deer season ends. And early season ice is often the best ice. Fish are aggressive, spots haven't been hit, and the patterns are simple. Points, shallow weed edges, and drop-offs. So, just like late season deer hunting, fish are focused on efficiency, feeding without wasting energy. So, as soon as that ice is ready, you need to get out there. Get that early season bite. Get those early season bluegill. Get those early season crappie. And get those hungry walleyes. You won't be disappointed. Now's the time of year where you can use fast moving baits, and it's going to be productive. So let me know when you get out what you catch, where you catch it, and what you catch it on. With that all being said, late December is a transition period of the year. One season's fading out while another season is fading in. Whether you're chasing that last deer tag or drilling your first ice hole of the year, this time outdoors matters. These cold days, quiet woods, and frozen lakes remind us why we do this in the first place. So if you've got time left in deer season, make it count. Be patient, be smart, hunt food, hunt the weather, and hunt with purpose. And when those woods finally go still, grab that auger, get on the ice, and keep the season rolling. Thanks for listening to Hunt Fish Live podcast, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked it, leave a comment, and give me a thumbs up. Stay safe out there, good luck, and I'll catch you on the next one.